Hi, this is Mindy Lighthype, and I'm from Drawing on the Beauty of Nature. I am a natural science and botanical illustrator and fine artist. And one of the things that I found that artists have a lot of trouble with is reproducing their artwork. And so if you're confused about how to use Photoshop, I have a great answer for you. Photoshop Elements is the answer for artists. So let's dive in and see what this is all about. In this course, it's a 2-day course, and I'm going to cover a lot of topics, but some general topics just to start out with, is that we're going to talk about the difference between Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. Which one should you choose? There's a cost difference, and there's also a lot of bells and whistles that do you really need? So after this 2-day workshop, you'll be able to make a clear decision as to which one is actually going to be the most beneficial for you. I also am going to debunk the understanding of what's the difference between dots per inch and why does it matter? I also find that understanding pixels per inch versus dots per inch can get really confusing, and I want to be able to clarify it for you so that you can move forward. Also, when it comes to scanning, what is resolution and what kind of settings do you use and why does it matter when you're scanning your artwork? Also, we have to talk about the correct thing, like choosing the correct formats. Is it a JPEG? Is it a TIFF? Is it a Photoshop document? All of these different things matter, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what I believe that you will need to succeed as an artist. And then we're also going to get to scan your artwork so that it's on the right settings. And we're also going to create a filing system. So once you've created all these great files, you can easily find them and access them. So here's a couple of things that we're going to be covering in this workshop. So one of the things that I do is, I put the artwork on my scanner, and a lot of times it's not in the proper positioning. And it's also, this particular painting is smaller than the actual scan bed. So there's a lot of area that is not appropriate for my finished work. So I'm going to teach you how to crop and rotate. And so as you can see, the image on the left was what was in the scanner. And then the image on the right is what I did after I was able to crop it and rotate it and get the format exactly the way I wanted it. The other thing that a lot of times natural science and botanical illustrators have is a white background. And so on this particular piece, my image was exactly the size of my scan bed. And so when you look at the image on the top left, you'll see that it actually fits very nicely into this format. But the paper was actually bigger and it felt kind of tight. And so I wanted it to go to the original size. So what I did was I created and expanded the canvas size in the background. And you'll see that in the image below. But you'll also see that the image is pretty dirty. The edges are grayed and there's dust specks and stuff. And so I have to clean up the backgrounds on my work. And so what you're seeing on the right-hand side is the image on its full canvas size with its cleaned up background. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. And it's relatively simple. You just have to know how. Then another thing that can occur when you're doing your artwork is what happens if your scan bed is too small and your painting is too big. So basically what you're seeing here on the left are 4 different scans that will be put into Photoshop Elements, and then I'm going to seamlessly put them together so that they match up. And this can be a little bit confusing, but it's pretty simple and it's totally amazing because there's this application inside Photoshop Elements, which is called Photo Merge. And I'm going to show you exactly the steps that you need to take to scan them in the 4 different images and then put them together to come up with what you see on the right-hand side. It's seamless, it works, it's fast, and I'm going to walk you through that. Another thing that we also occur in, in being an artist is that we're really pretty much color junkies, and we want to make sure that our color looks correct. So the scan bed doesn't have the configurations that you can color correct while you're scanning your image, but you can do that inside Photoshop Elements. And so what you're seeing on the left-hand side is the basic scan. So I went through, I did some cropping, I cleaned up my white background, and then I went in and I did some color correction. And so what you can see is I brought in the darker darks, it's richer, there's more sheen. And so this is something that, again, it only takes a few minutes, but if you don't know where the adjustments are and you don't know how to use them, you could really end up making a mess. So this is part of the class. So I hope that you will understand that some of the benefits of taking this is that I'm going to be giving you step-by-step instructions so that you can try it in your studio afterwards. And also there's some cheat sheets, which are shortcuts, which will help you to circumnavigate, constantly looking at your keyboard or constantly looking at things. They become memory muscle and you can just, click on those shortcuts and get yourself going. There's also other handouts about what scanners you could purchase, and we'll just go through everything so that you feel confident at the end of this 2-day workshop so that you can scan your work. The next step after that is that I'm also going to be teaching a greeting card class. So this way you can actually take your scans, take your color correction, take everything, and then make it into an actual product that you can actually sell or produce. And we will also get you ready for putting things out onto the web, for jurying, all that kind of stuff. And all this can be done in Photoshop Elements, and it's not going to cost you a fortune, and it's not going to freak you out that you're not going to be able to do it all, because this program is specifically gauged to artists who want to up the scale of their scanning and their digital work. So I hope to see you in this class, and I look forward to working with you and debunking all of that techno junk. I'll see you soon. Take care. This is Mindy Lighthype for Drawing the Beauty of Nature.